All right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It is time for Veterans News. Hank Whittier is not in the studio, and Gary Pascale is sitting in his place. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning. It's great to be with you this morning. We don't have no Department of Defense casualties to announce this morning, but however, we do have 2 firefighter casualties that we would like to announce. One is Mike Coop, was his nickname, Cooper, and he was an assistant fire chief. He was age 61, and his status was volunteer, and he was from Centerville, Iowa. And then we have firefighter Leslie Fryman. He was age 58, and he was from Rosedale, Wisconsin. And also, I would just like to mention, I usually don't like to talk, and I'm not meaning anything political, but, you know, our prayers really need to go out to that Jordanian pilot's family and the family of those Japanese journalists, you know, who were killed at the hands of terrorists. You know, they very well could have been, you know, our people, too. So let's remember them, the families of those folks in our prayers today.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed.
What a beautiful song. And Veterans News is brought to you this morning by the folks at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nurseries, and they have all kinds of beautiful flowers and plants. And, you know, spring is coming, so you might want to get down there soon. They're located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful Ocala. When it comes to your landscaping needs, Bob Wines has it. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. And they have everything from mulch and fertilizers to all kinds of plants and trees. They will deliver, or you could pick it up. And if they deliver and plant a tree, they guarantee the tree. Now, you can't beat a deal like that. Now, they've been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952. And when you go to Bob Wines, if you tell them you're a veteran, you'll get, and you show proof, you'll get a 10% discount. You just can't beat a deal like that. And also, we want to thank the folks at the Ocala Ford dealers that serve Gainesville, Leesburg, the Villages, and Bellevue. Okay, it's their goal to be the best dealerships in the state, the best dealerships even in the country. Of course, they have Fords, they have Lincolns, they have the great old Ford trucks. They have used cars in Ocala, Florida, and in Ocala, and at the other dealerships also. If you're looking for parts, hard to find parts, they have that. They do repairs. And if you don't want to buy, you want to lease, you can lease also, and they have special financing. So you want to see the folks at Ocala Ford, you can call them at 732 212-4800. And, of course, Ocala Ford has been there for a long time, 2816 Pine Avenue in Ocala, Florida. Okay, this morning we do have a few things that we want to talk about. We got some special stuff too. We want everybody to remember to stand down, which is going to be on February 27th and February 28th. We're going to have the final meeting for the stand down for the participants involved. It's going to be over at Central Florida College at 9 a.m. on the 13th of February in building number 11, which is the Veterans Building. And I got another big heap of veterans news that I'm going to turn over to Joe. It's something that Habitat for Humanity, one of our partners, is doing, and Joe knows a lot more about it than I do. So, Joe, go ahead.
Good morning, Gary. Good morning, everyone. Habitat for Humanity is partnering with Vets Helping Vets to not allow a homeless veteran homeless, straight up. And on March 7th, the Strawberry Festival is happening here in Ocala at McPherson's Field, or government complex as they call it. We're looking at hopefully 20,000 people. There is a special guest star, Steve. How would you pronounce that now? Let's see. Corcoran, thank you, sir. Corcoran, Steve Corcoran. He is a veteran. He was totally disabled. Thought he would have no use of his legs. Went through some special experimental surgery by the VA, where they put a balloon in his back, opened it up, cemented them all together, and now he's walking. So it beyond my paycheck, but he's walking and he's singing, and he's a country western singer right now, and he's coming in to do a few songs. You can look at his backstory on YouTube and go find him with the Strawberry Festival.
I was talking, Joe, to somebody at Habitat yesterday, and they were telling me about this fine veteran entertainer, and they said he was totally paralyzed.
From the waist down, yeah.
So to have him perform and sing and play whatever musical instrument he plays, and I'm looking forward to going, this is literally a miracle.
It is. Oh, yes. So, and it kind of fits. It is, and they got in touch with Brad Nemo, the head executive of Habitat for Humanity, and asked if he can come on board. And it's going to be phenomenal. And Brad will be here tomorrow at 9:30 to elaborate a little more on that. So for those who want to listen and get more details, he'll be here tomorrow.
I'll be listening. And
I hope so.
I got some more good news that comes from Brad too. We're actually going to get started finally on the renovations of our first house, which is our joint project with Habitat for Humanity over there near Oak Crest Elementary School. So hopefully within a matter of months, we'll have a disabled veteran couple in there. And also probably sometime this week or next week, we'll do the closing on that first mobile home that Habitat gave us and get the work done in there. We've already got a veteran lined up to put in there. So
right. Well, when you think of Habitat, a lot of people think they're going to build it from the ground up, from the sticks up. They don't have to necessarily do that. If it's feasible, and they'll just rehab a home. And if you rehab a home, then it's less costly. And it's still quite habitable.
It is, and it makes a person a great home, especially a first home. You can't beat a deal like that. And the nice thing about it is, when we're putting the veterans in these homes, we're not giving them a handout. We're not giving them a home. They got a no interest mortgage that they have to pay, and they have responsibilities. Habitat for Humanity's got a very good system, and we would, of course, continue, case management, and, we'll keep you updated, as we get folks in these homes, because these two aren't going to be the only ones. We're looking forward to doing a lot of them this year and next year. And
well, the good thing, Gary, is when someone pulls into that home, they know that home is up to code. And with that note, we're going to take a break for a moment and go to our weather.
Very good. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. We'll start out with periods of rain this morning, then clouds will break for some sun this afternoon as it becomes windy and somewhat cooler. Highs will range from the low 60s in the northernmost part of the zone to 71 in the southernmost part. Then mainly clear, breezy, and colder tonight with lows ranging from 38 in a few inland spots to 52 along the coast. Tomorrow mostly sunny, breezy, and cool with a high between 62 and 66. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Have you looked around? Ocala's famous azaleas are getting ready to bloom, and just in time for Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens to have a super special deal on azaleas. Budded and blooming, ever-blooming red ruffles, you get 6 for only $24.99. In the semi-dwarfs, you get 6 for only $7.50. Bob also has those hardy and beautiful frost-proof gardenias, not $9.99, just $6.99. And by all means, see the deals on knockout roses too, as low as $19.99. Come to the Big Camellia Show Spectacular any day through April and give your friends and family a real treat. It's all going on right now at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. Open daily till 4, Saturdays until 2. Remember, Bob Wine's, homegrown, locally owned since 1952.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Cozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
You can have work done on your vehicle anywhere, but why would you? Maybe they correctly determine the problem and suggest the proper service. There's a chance they won't. Eliminate that chance by bringing your vehicle to Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue. The professionally trained, factory-certified team understands the service requirements and maintenance needs of your vehicle, and when the unexpected repair comes your way, you can be assured the work will be done correctly, quickly, and cost-effectively. Look, you've invested a lot of your hard-earned money in your transportation to deliver performance, reliability, and safety. So doesn't it just make sense to trust the professional team at Ford Lincoln of Ocala and Village Ford of Bellevue to ensure you many miles of worry-free driving and peace of mind knowing the service was done correctly? So the choice is yours. Take the hard-earned investment to whoever for service or a factory-trained certified technician at Ford Lincoln of Ocala or Village Ford of Bellevue. To schedule your next completely satisfied service for your vehicle, contact those who know it best. Village Ford of Bellevue or Ford Lincoln of Ocala, your family of Ford dealerships where we've got what it takes.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's return to Veterans News. Gary?
Yeah, I just want to remind you, probably most everybody knows, February is Black History Month in the United States. And as a veteran, well, us veterans are a pretty diverse group, thank God for that. But I want to kind of focus a little bit today on World War II. African Americans, several of them have distinguished themselves over the years in the military and have gone above and beyond the call of duty. Probably on the fourth Thursday of the month, we're going to try to have some local veterans here who have distinguished themselves and, maybe have them on the air. We're working on that. But today, Sergeant Crowley, I guess it was Christmas or Thanksgiving, your American Legion and your VFW invited the Vets Helping Vets folks over for a holiday dinner.
That's correct.
And I noticed on the program a Pearl Harbor veteran named Dory Miller. The picture was on the program and the story. Pearl Harbor is near and dear to my heart because my dad was in the Army at Pearl Harbor when they bombed it, and not fatally wounded, but he was critically wounded, and he passed away about 20 years after the war ended. So, of course, that's near and dear to my heart. But this young sailor, Dory Miller, from Waco, Texas, was on the battleship, the USS West Virginia, BB-48. Are you familiar with him?
I'm very familiar with him as well as the story, and I'll let you go and elaborate, but he was actually a cook that was stationed on board that ship and wasn't even allowed up on the deck. But when the bombs started falling and the Japanese started trying to destroy his ship, he immediately sprang to action, and without him sinking a few, they perhaps would have sank that battleship, and later on they did do that, though.
Okay, something, if you were in another service other than the Navy, because a lot of times, when
There
you
is such a thing?
Of course.
when we think about branches of service, we think about what we do, what our specialty is. But in the Navy, whether you're a cook, whether you work in the laundry, I was a bosun's mate, no matter what you are, when that general quarters alarm sounds, you are no longer that. You are whatever your battle station was. And when you hear that order, to man your battle stations, you become a gunner. I was in a 5-inch 38 gun. This young man was on a 20 millimeter gun. Okay, but when he got to his battle station, that 20 millimeter gun was totally destroyed.
Wow.
So after seeing that, he went up to the bridge. He was ordered to the bridge, and the captain was near death. And one of the other officers asked him to remove the captain to safety, which he had picked the captain up and he was going to. But we have a call?
Yes.
Well, I didn't mean you to stop in midstream. I forget. Poor Gary. I gave him the high sign. He just stopped in midstream. For you listeners out there, I just gave him the high sign. There was a phone call.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, and I don't know if you all were aware that Mr. Miller passed away during the Battle of Tarawa a couple of years later.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay, all right. Have a good morning, all.
You
Well,
too,
thank you.
and thank you for your call. Thank you. Yes, the captain refused to leave the bridge. And the captain, he actually died on the bridge, but it was a heroic event there to try to save the captain. But then the unique thing about Dory Miller is he then went to a 50 caliber machine gun station, anti-aircraft, where the gunner had been killed, and Mr. Miller had never fired a 50 caliber machine gun. Sergeant Crow, you ever fired a 50?
Yes, I have.
They can be pretty complicated. I don't know. Of course, when Sergeant Curley and I fired them, they might have been a little bit more advanced than when Dory Miller fired them. But he took that 50 caliber machine gun and he went to whaling on those zeros, and he whaled on them zeros until the attack stopped. And he believes he probably downed about 2 of them. And that it didn't end there, like the gentleman said. It didn't end there. Of course, the West Virginia, unfortunately, was damaged to the point where Dory Miller had to be transferred to another ship, and he continued to distinguish himself. Okay, and then.
Yeah.
In 1942, he was quoted as saying, "It wasn't hard." Miller just said, "I just pulled the trigger, and she worked fine. I had watched others with these guns, and I guess I fired it for about 15 minutes. I got one of those Jap planes while they were diving pretty close to us." Okay?
Wow.
And again, the West Virginia sustained really bad damage. Okay? And the Secretary of the Navy awarded the Navy Cross to him on April 1st, 1942. And this was for his distinguished devotion to duty and his extraordinary courage, and without regard to any of his personal safety. President Roosevelt actually gave him the Navy Cross, and it was pinned on him by the famous Admiral Nimitz, who was the commander of the Pacific Forces. And he was aboard the USS Enterprise, which was a aircraft carrier, and that was in May of 1942. However, later, like the gentleman caller had just said, in Liscombe Bay, Mr. Miller's ship was torpedoed, and it only took 23 minutes to sink, so he was presumed dead, and then, of course, it was confirmed. However, he's remembered today. There's a Dory Miller Auditorium in Austin, Texas, and a community center in Newport News, Virginia. And Post 915 of the American Legion in Chicago is also dedicated to his honor.
That's a cool story.
Yes, it is.
We got any other callers?
Yeah.
No, sir. No, sir.
Not at this time. Go, yes, Curly.
I just want to make sure that I get my VFW news in.
Oh, that's up to Gary. Don't look at me.
Hey, you got it, bro.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
All right, thank you very much. I know it's been a long time since you heard the commander's voice, but anyway, I have a lot of things to tell you, so grab a pencil and get ready to circle your calendars, because on February the 7th, on February the 7th, the District 22 would have its district meeting, and it's going to be held at 4493 in Candler. That's the district meeting, 4493 in Candler, and it starts at 11 a.m. Lunch will be served. On the 19th of February, the VFW Post 7193 will have its third annual Holy Land trip to Orlando. It's our third annual one, and we'll be leaving from Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church at 8 a.m. We ask that you be there at 7:30 for a continental breakfast and coffee and etc. Transportation, the tickets are $55. The tickets are $55 each, and that provides you with transportation there and back, and a ticket as well as a continental breakfast. The next thing we need to talk about is the recognition ceremony that's going to be held at the building site, which is at 3140 North of Old Gainesville Road. We're going to recognize one of our staunch supporters, and it happens to be the Raymond Missionary Baptist Church out of Bellevue, Florida. And we ask everybody to try to get there. This is scheduled for 21st of February. And it's going to be a continental breakfast, cocoa, coffee, and pastries going to be provided. So come one, come all to that particular ceremony where we'll be honoring the people who helped us the most. And that is the Raymond Missionary Baptist Church out of Bellevue, Florida. Next one on thing I'd like to remind everybody is that on 20th of February, the NAACP Marion County branch will have its annual banquet. It starts at 7 p.m. The tickets are $50 each, and the location is going to be 3800 Southwest 38th Avenue, which is the Holiday Inn Suites, and it's right behind the Cracker Barrel, right after you pass on I-75. So we thank you now, and we ask that you continue to support us in our efforts to build the community center / VFW Post Home.
You look good, Curly.
Thank you, sir.
You have all those notes squared away?
Yes.
I tell you wanted to be a doctor, though, the way you write, though.
No.
Well, that's the way that looks to me.
Can you read the scribble?
No, that's what I'm saying. You wanted to be a doctor.
If it sounds like talking about Mr. Miller that I was partial to the Navy, that's not true, because I just want to mention in the few minutes we got that there was 7 African-American U.S. Army veterans that won the Medal of Honor in World War II. And right here, locally, Sergeant Curley, of course you can't see him on the radio.
Yes, you can. We've got him.
He is a decorated Vietnam veteran, and we're happy to have him with us. And and we want to pay you an honor and tribute this morning.
Now we got to put up with his big head.
He's a Marine.
Oh.
So we covered everybody but the Air
enough.
Force, but the Air Force didn't exist during World War II, and we're talking about World War II today.
Oh, okay.
But of course, Sergeant Curley wasn't around during World War II. He was,
No.
He was in a figment of imagination.
We're very,
Very
very thankful for your service, Sergeant Curley, and we appreciate you, brother.
Thank you very much.
And we'd like to thank our sponsors. We got Bob Wine's Community Gardens here, and Ford of Ocala, and the Village.
And WOC Radio. We couldn't do it without you, Joe, and
WOCA,
your folks here. And Larry, we just want to thank you for putting up with us every week. And, God bless all you veterans out there. And, again, look for the Cancer Show on the 19th with Dr. Knapp, and be ready to call in.
And don't forget our things that are coming up. We'll talk more about it next week.
Yep.
And as we always end, God bless America.
God bless America.
From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.